Welcome back, guys. It's me, Adam. You are watching Steady Invest, and I'm going to be showing you guys my biggest losses since I've started trading in the stock market. So I hope you guys find it beneficial and you learn from my mistakes. And no, I do not smoke a cigar every time I experience a loss, even though I can see how that could help calm nerves sometimes. There is no way around it. It sucks when you lose money. That's your real hard-earned money from your job or from your business or rental income, and watching it evaporate right in front of your eyes will absolutely play with your emotions. And I remember before I even started getting into the stock market whatsoever, people were always talking about it and saying, you know, you have to think with your head and you have to be logical, don't be emotional about things. And I remember thinking, I'm a pretty reasonable guy, I'm pretty level-headed, it'll be no problem. And then lo and behold, you see your money going down and then you start melting down and saying, what should I do, what should I do? And again, when you're new, you don't always have the best plan and then you're just scrambling all over. What you have to understand about trading in the stock market is that it is absolutely inevitable that you will make mistakes. The faster you accept this, the better off you'll be. And here's the key. 90% of traders don't fail because they're dumb or they're stupid. They fail because they size up so fast relative to their knowledge and to their dispensable income that they blow up before they have a chance to make all the mistakes for them to become a profitable and consistent trader. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, in probably every video. It all comes down to risk versus reward. Is it worth it? As well, again, do you have a plan? And what better way to show you guys than the person that didn't have any plan or have any sense of risk versus reward than the examples I'll show you guys in a moment. Alright, first we have Baitex Energy. They are an oil and gas company. They're based out of Calgary, Alberta. They trade on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol BTE. As you can see here, they're a penny stock, meaning their price action affects your profit or your loss that much more than, for instance, a $5 stock. If BTE and the $5 stock both go up 10 cents, your gain and loss with BTE will be that much more because 10 cents on a 50-cent stock is a 20% gain, whereas a 10-cent gain on a $5 stock is only a 2% gain. So I started buying the stock when it was about 40 cents, and my thought process was, okay, it used to be $2 here. Look how much it was back when oil was at its peak. If oil ever gets back to those numbers, I know oil's beaten down right now, but it's bound to rebound one day. And I was really excited at the time because I was thinking, if I put a large amount of money in, if this ends up getting to even $3 or $10 or $20, and I was getting more and more excited at the prospects of such a small stock getting so much bigger and where it used to be and all these things, I'm like, I'm gonna be rich. I'm thinking I'm gonna be rich. So I put in $10,000. And then what happened? Within days, I watched my account bleed. That 10,000 turned into 7,000 whatever real quick. And I felt awful. And then I started panicking, like, oh wait, did I do enough research? Hold on, because the penny stock, does that mean it could go bankrupt if it goes to zero? All these questions I started asking myself and realized I was way in above my head. So I said, you know what, not to risk this stock going to 20 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents, I sold out at that loss. I lost $2,500 in a matter of days. At the end of the day, it was just a gamble. I was just hoping it was going to go up. And I remember at the time, actually, oil crashed to below negative prices, and this stock was affected by it as well. So I didn't understand anything that was going on. I panicked. I had no goal. I told myself I was going to invest, but then I saw my money go down, and then I panicked and sold out. And of course, funny enough, what happened? Within a week or two, it bounced right back to where it was before, and within a few months, it actually doubled in price. Imagine I held on and doubled my money. Just because it doubled doesn't mean it's a good stock either. That's just the price action, the way it went. But this is not a stock that would even be remotely close to my watch list when it comes to investing long term. And it's safe to say I learned a big lesson with this one. Don't risk too much too fast, because if you risk too much and you lose all your funds, that's it, you're done. You need to work to make more money and fund your account to get it to grow again. And trust me, you don't want to be that person that loses their entire life savings that they spent years working for and earning just to lose it in a matter of days or weeks based off some silly emotional decisions. You don't blow up your account with proper risk management. You don't blow up your account if you only risk a little bit at a time. Know what you're doing before you make these big mistakes. The goal is to survive and keep getting better and mastering your craft. Alright, next we have Nordic American Tanker. They are an oil tanker company based out of Bermuda, and at the time I bought it around right here for about $5.50. And the reason I bought it was because one of my favorite YouTubers, even though he's a long-term investor, he saw a short-term opportunity, so he posted it online, and a lot of new investors like me were watching him at the time, and I bought into the hype. I'm like, wow, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. I'm going to buy in as well. So I bought in for about $5.50 or so, and I bought it on the way up as well. And within about a week, it hit its peak, and then it just went down from there. And I was just holding that bag, waiting to break even, and I never did. And I sold it at a loss. However, the dividend was nice, so I got a couple payments, so it made up for my loss. And the big lesson I learned from this one was don't just listen to YouTubers and listen to their advice at face value. Make sure you do your own research. If you buy into the hype, chances are the smart money is already in, and then once you buy in, the smart money gets out, and then you're left with a bunch of losses. Alright, next up we have FSLY. This is an internet computing company. They trade on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol FSLY. I like this company a lot, actually, and I bought them right over here, right before the earnings, and I was actually trading earnings around this time, and I was having a lot of success. So I was getting a little more confident, and then yeah, you can have all these wins, but if you have one big loss, then it kind of wipes all of it out, right? So I put in a little bit more for this one because I was feeling so much more confident, and even though, you know what, they had a good earnings call. They did really well. However, at the time, TikTok was having all its problems with Trump and all its political issues, and the US portion of TikTok makes about 6% of FSLY's revenue. So just based off that news, it went down, and it dropped like 30% over a few days. And I was asking myself, what is going on? However, I knew their earnings call was good, and I know they're a good company, so I held on to them. I actually bought on the dips as well, and it eventually did break even, and I actually sold right here a few days ago, and I have no idea why, but literally the next day it jumped up 14%. Or whatever, 20% or whatever, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. Once you're out of a trade, you're out of the trade, you learn from it, and you can't, I mean, for me, the biggest thing is if I miss an opportunity, that's fine, as long as I'm not losing money. I would rather miss an opportunity by not being in a stock rather than seeing my actual money go down. Alright, and next up we have Vaxart. It trades on the NASDAQ under VXRT. This one's actually an interesting story. I had a relative recommend this one to me for the longest time. For all of June, all of May, he's like, buy VXRT, buy VXRT. Just trust me, buy them. I'm like, nah. You know what, I don't want to just buy just based on what you say. Like, I want to do my own research. So what had happened was after the stock had jumped from about $2 to $3, I texted my relative and said, hey, like, it jumped 30% or 40%. That's crazy. And he said, there's still time to buy. I said, no, it's already run up. You know, it's going to go back down, whatever. The next day, I take a nap. I wake up right before the market closes. And I'm like, wow, it's at $6. I text my relative. He's like, there's still time to buy. It's $3.59. I put in an order. I'm not even recognizing what numbers I'm putting in. I'm like just like groggy, pressing numbers, and I ended up buying about $2,000 worth. The next day, I kid you not, I look at my account. That $2,000 is like $4,000 plus, and I'm like, what just happened? Like what? I couldn't believe the amount of money that was in my account relative to the amount I had just 12 hours prior. But oh, did I learn a lesson, because although it opened at $11 and went as high as $14, and I was very euphoric at that time. When I saw 14, I'm like, this is going to like $1 million. Like, I'm going to be so rich after this. That it ended up closing at about $8. And I'm like, oh, okay, don't worry, it'll go back up tomorrow. What happened? It started up higher, I was happy, and then it closed at even lower. And then it just bounced between both of them. And then I ended up selling out around here. So I didn't make profit on it. However, the amount of profit I had before, it was just greed at the end of the day. And that was a lesson from this one, don't be greedy. But of course I have to make the same mistake again, don't I? Enter HYLN stock. This was a really popular stock back in the summer because there was a lot of anticipated news, there was a lot of hype. I was able to average my position to about $20, which was really good, and I was really happy with that. But the price ran up so fast that I felt like I was going to miss out on even more gains. So I actually averaged out to about $30 or so, and then it hit $50 a few times. That news was coming, and it came, but I was greedy that it would go even higher. And this was about a week ago. And when it was at this price, I told myself, I'm like, this has the ability to crash. And I said out loud to myself, but I'm greedy. So I deserve this one. I've watched this one over the past few days just absolutely sink on me. I had about 80% profit in this one, and now I have about 3%. That's just how it goes sometimes. However, this one was to my own fault. I traded emotionally, and I'm still smiling because it didn't blow up my account. I only had about 0.5% of my portfolio. As a side note, I do like this company as an investment long term. However, when I did buy into it, it was originally supposed to be a trade. But the more I learned about the company, the more I wanted to keep it long term. So it was hard for me to sell at these prices because if it went up on a long-term investment, I wouldn't have been happy. At the same time, I didn't stick to my original plan, aka emotional investing. Trading isn't easy. You need to respect how difficult it is or you're gonna get blown out of the water. And yeah, losing on those trades really sucked, but at the same time, because I learned from them, I was able to make profitable trades later on. One day I was on Reddit and a really successful day trader had a Q&A and someone asked him what his biggest win was. And he replied saying he had no idea. It's the losses that you never forget. And that was true for this video. I remember all my big losses like the back of my hand. And yes, there is a certain amount of stress that comes with trading and investing, but it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. Do it because you like it. If you can't handle the losses or the short-term losses, then maybe it's not for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for instance, if you want to invest still, maybe choose less riskier companies. Yeah, your returns won't be as good, but at least you'll have more peace of mind than being stressed out all the time about your account going down. And that's it, guys. I hope you found this information beneficial. I hope you learned from my mistakes. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop me a comment, let me know about any mistakes you've made or anything you've learned. As well, if you want to join Wealthsimple or Questrade, use my links below. We'll both get $10, $20, or $50 depending on how much you put in your account. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video, guys.